Hi YouTube! Yamaha, they're mental, aren't they? This is an AES820. 8 being 800 odd quid. I think there may be a wee bit more than that, but very, very roughly, approximately on Yamahas. 2 is for 2 humbuckers. 1, 2, and 0 is for how many single coils? None. So 800 quid, 2 humbuckers. The Yamahas often work that way. So this is the AES series. It's kinda, it's mad. It's kind. It reminds me of I've got an RGX A2, which is like a spaceship, but actually, or it looks like it. There's got all mad features and stuff, but see to play. It's just a really good guitar. It's not pure. I've got so many guitars that are really odd to play. It's not odd in any way. But they're mad with their features. Our Yamaha. So where do we start? It's like, look at the tuners. Yeah, totally. I mean, why not? It's actually got USA Sperzo locking tuners, but you see what's different about them? That's right. The actual shaft bit that goes between the tuner and the button is this long. It's this long, and it's this long. That gives you a straight string pull over the nut. Yep. So the way Leo Fender sorted that was not technically a Leo Fender, but see, you put it in a side on, and then the string, you can't even see the strings on that, but the strings go straight over the nut. This is a good thing, because when you bend a string, it pulls the string, because you're pulling it. You pull it through the nut, and then when you let go, it slides back through again, whereas on a Gibson headstock, there's one there. You can see that I've kind of modified this by putting rollers in here to do a similar thing, so that when the string comes up, like especially in the D and the G, that's why they go out of tune all the time, by the way. You can fix it this way, but I wouldn't fix it this way in a very expensive guitar. Well, you can if you want. So these strings come up and they do that to get from here to here. It's that angle. So instead of going, when you bend a string, it pulls it through the slot and then it slides back. You pull it through the slot and it goes and can't slide back, so you end up sharp. And then you tune it and then it moves, and it's just a nightmare. I was going to put the way around this is to get the nut cut properly, but I kind of always wanted to try that, so I built this. It's kind of like a string butler, it's called. You can buy like an actual attachment thing, but this one is it's just a wee screw with the ball end of a bass string on it, so that the D and the G strings go straight over, and it totally sorted the tuning on this immediately. That's quite a cheap way of doing it rather than that, but it means you get to keep the right shaped headstock. So weird thing number one, also American Schaller tuners, £100, something, I don't know, expensive. DiMarzio pickups. They actually say DiMarzio just in the corner, so you know. Kind of weird actually looking at them. They've got 2 rows of slot head adjustable poles, whereas obviously the DiMarzio Super Distortions have 2 rows of adjustable pole pieces, but they're hexagonal. Normal pickups have 1 row of adjustable pickups. I don't really have one. I suppose that's Seymour Duncan's kind of got that. There, your idea there. So that's a pearly gates, it's called. That one. So you've got 1 row of adjustable coils, and then these ones are just slugs. These are both other examples of this. This has got half hex as a Screaming Demon. This has got half hex Allen key ones and half adjustable slot screws, and this has got 2 sets of adjustable poles. So I mean, adjustable poles. I have been told, I got this off my pal actually, my pal who built this, a secret to do with them that he got off the Grateful Dead's guitar tech, using an oscilloscope, which I've not actually done yet, but I'll have to do it at some point. Apparently it makes a big difference. I don't know. I've very few people adjust the poles. You often get it. You always see it in sometimes the B string's dead low. The only guitars I've ever had that I've needed to adjust the poles don't have adjustable pole pieces. Like Strats have just got it's just metal slugs, and you can technically hit them with a hammer. I was like, I've got a 1974 Strat pickup, and it's like the B string is much quieter than all the other strings, because if you look at they've got staggered, it's much lower. I think it's something to do with when they used to use wound strings or something. And it's like, I just tap it. The pole piece is lower, by a couple of millimeters, 3 millimeters lower than some of the other ones. So it's quieter, and I don't want to sit and tap it with a hammer in case I break something. So why would you have adjustable controls? Doesn't matter. So these are fixed straight into the body, very neatly done as well. I was mentioning this before. Quite often on a lot of guitars, it's quite ugly round about here. It's like being able to see behind the scenes. On this one, very neatly done. It is Yamaha after all. Bridge is a tune-o-matic-y type thing, but a bit more Art Deco. It's actually got springs on the saddles as well, but just a better version of a tune-o-matic, I suppose is what you would call it. A bit more kind of. I want to say Art Deco. I don't know. Maybe that is. These knobs, are they maybe a bit Art Deco as well? They're kind of cool. Nothing's Yamaha. Just, I don't know. Fixing things that aren't really broken, but they do improve it. They are better. They do make it better. Actually, I was going to say it's hanging a bit funny. It's because it's got two. I just wonder if I put it there and shorten the strap, it hangs differently. It does. Schecter used to do that as well. It does mean that you can have two heights of your pickups. I'm sorry. I don't normally adjust other people's straps, but I'm doing it anyway to see if it makes it different. It does. It makes it hang differently. So it's just a slight different that to that. Actually makes quite a difference to the feel. Better this one, definitely. Yep, so I suppose at the top, even the wee Yamaha Pacifica truss rod cover thing, which kind of fits into the holes, only got one screw on it, is metal, which is better than plastic, or more expensive than plastic. A really nice ebony fingerboard, no dots on it, dots on the edge, obviously, otherwise I'd be complaining. The bridge, or the tailpiece, I've seen this on basses before, so these are all individual units. Some theory voodoo thing about that being better, because you're transferring each string independently to the body for vibrating. I'm sure it's better. I bet you it's better, but I mean, is it more than 0.5% better? Don't know, but same as the straight string pull does work. Just a bit mental, and it's kind of, these are all bolted on through the back. As you can see, it's strung through like a Telecaster, and they're mental. But there's method behind them. I just look at the way. So you put your strap in at the back, and then it's obviously meant to immediately go beyond. You obviously put it around your strap anyway. It's a wee bit of use. And then there you go, it's kind of, so you put it over your strap anyway, and it's just a very sensible place to put it. But not only that, look at where the routing is for these three knobs. That's right, it doesn't have a back plate because you've got this, which is kind of like the Ibanez Talman. It's like a Strat jack socket in a metal plate, whereas the Talman's got like a volume. You can have a volume of tone in that. And then you've got the ultimate Telecaster Esquire thing. But again, there's efficiency things going on. You're thinking, again, it's just like, I've got this thing about Yamaha. I just imagine Japanese people standing about in lab coats with oscilloscopes and stuff, testing things, trying to develop a slightly better everything, which I think they've always done. Yamaha have always been a bit mental. Makes perfect sense though. So we've got two volumes, and this is a crazy tone control, which I actually had to go in and squish the pots because they're a little bit crackly, just through lack of use. I don't know what year this would be. It doesn't even seem to have a serial number. Oh no, it does have a serial number. IK22221. 4 2s and a 1. That's got to count for something. Those numbers don't translate easily. It will give you the date, but it's something to do with the Yamaha have got a weird dating system, something to do with some emperor thing. So you take like the number and then you subtract 160 from it, or something like that. Something to do is based on some Japanese dynasty thing. Which, if you know and you look it up, it does make sense. But it would be nice if it just said 2002 on the back or whatever it is. I'm guessing this is, I don't know. It's probably 10 years old or something like that. I don't know. It's not old anyway. And I don't think it's brand new. It's got a slight aginess looking to it. I love the top. See the way it's got this. Actually, kind of see that this middle bit, which looks like it's light blue just now, kind of a wee bit like a Zemitis looking guitar shape. But see how it's got this big carve all the way around. See, you get 3 different colours of blue no matter what way you look at it. It's kind of, you know, it's interesting. And then you got a scoop away here, which is kind of mad. Again, it's one of those ones that I like it now, but the first time you see it, I remember my pal Wayne had one of these, and you look at it, you kind of go, your brain goes, that's not, the Les Paul doesn't normally look like that. Something wrong here. Same with, you know, these guitars. I now absolutely love that one, but when I first saw it, it's like pure, I don't know, that one, it's pure, and then now I like it. You get used to these things. So 2 volumes, and this is a rotary tone pot, which I'll go into when I get to it. So make some noise. Neck pickup. In fact, I've not got I was using that multi-effect, so I'll put some reverb on it. That's a bit better. Bridge pickup. Oh, scale length. It's a 50-50. I don't know. I'm assuming it's either going to be 24 3/4 like a Gibson, because it's kind of, it's a Les Paul. It's more a Les Paul than it is a Strat, so it's a Les Paul. You know, arguing that all of these are Strats. You know what I mean? Every guitar you see on the wall is a Strat. Okay, so this is a Les Paul then. 3-side headstock, single cutaway, humbuckers, hardtail. So I'm thinking it's going to be 24 3/4, not 25.5. Let's see if I'm right. I can't tell the difference. I even noticed that guitar there, my new one, has a Gibson scale. And you notice that because it's got 24 frets on a Strat neck. I can't. Maybe if you A-B'd it, maybe, but not if you just give me a guitar and tell me what's the scale on this. It's Gibson scale, 24 3/4. Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't make that much difference. I mean, it's only that. You know what I mean? I can tell the difference between a 34-inch scale and a 32-inch scale bass, but that's 2 inches different, not 24 3/4, not 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, both pickups. So you've got bridge volume is this middle one, and that's the neck, which is kind of, see, because it's at that angle, it doesn't feel wrong, whereas it does if it's in a straight line and you've got the neck pickup first, which makes sense. That's the one you always go to, you'd always think of as being your main one. Because it's the middle, it's kind of the middle one you can get to easiest, which is the one that you're most likely to use. I approve of this angle thing. I also like the engineering aspect that it's got the same route in the back, so it doesn't need a back cavity cover as well. So they've kind of saved, makes more of the guitar one piece. Less pieces, therefore better. In fact, you've saved a back plate, and you've saved 2 things, unnecessary things, as in having to route out a thing for a back plate, having a back plate, and having the jack socket on it. It means more of the guitar is there, you know, rather than having a big gap. Again, 0.1%, 0.01% here, 0.012% here. All these things add up to being, you know, probably the whole guitar's 2% better than if it didn't have all these features, but that's still 2%, you know. I mean, there's not that much difference between, you know, the best of the best of the Squires and the cheapest of the vendors. It's more difference than there is in that. What interesting is this tone control, which it's a 3-position rotary, right? And I said, I want to make this out. I was around at my pal's house when he showed me it. I was like, oh, yeah, I bet it's like probably adjustable or something. So you basically got 3 tone sounds. So that's fully counterclockwise, which is doing something in the middle, and then down the way. So what's in the back, because I had to look because I was in squishing the pots anyway, it does have 2 caps in it, which is what I expected. It's also got a trim pot in there, so I think you can adjust what the 2 tone controls are. I think, whether you can hear it or I can hear it, I think the middle is off. I think that's bypass. And if you turn it that way, that's like a tone control. And that's like it's a slight EQ shifty thing going on. Like a mid-range. I'm only going that way because I think, obviously, there's no batteries in it, so it's a passive circuit, so you can't add anything using passive electronics. You can only take things away. So, you've got here's your level, you can take away the bass, or a tone control takes away the treble. And it's doing something. What exactly it's doing, not sure, but I think in the middle is off. Neck pickup. Tone on. Softer. Middle. That's kind of like almost it can't be a high mid boost, but it can be everything but the high mid take down a little bit. And that may be what that trim pot on the inside probably extends how much it does that. You know what I mean? It might do both positions. It's like you've got a different tone control, but you've got a set volume on it. It's kind of mental. But it's a Yamaha. The 8, I mean, I've seen these before. I think there's the 5 series. There'll be, I don't know what they start at. I suppose this is before the RevStar, because the RevStar was quite a big. It was quite a big thing. Everyone knows what they are. I think they were. This is maybe a sort of previous to the RevStar. I can see it being less popular because it's madder looking than a RevStar. A RevStar's kind of, it's that designing a guitar thing. It's very difficult to make something that's original but not absolutely hideous and that's ergonomic and works. So going from a playing standpoint, although all these mad things I've been showing you about this guitar, it's really easy to play, and it just plays like a, I'd go say it plays like a Les Paul. It doesn't. It's much better than a Les Paul. Again, have your arguments about that. Oh no, I like the way it's really heavy and the neck's at a funny angle, and it, yeah. Okay, that's fine. There's not really any arguing. You like it better, that's fine. I just don't think there's really a case for, in any situation, it being actually better in any measurable way, apart from, oh, but I like it better. That's fine. It's totally okay. But actually, you get to the situation of who's going to play this guitar. Noel Gallagher would never play a guitar like this, ever. So that's a tick in my book. Or anyone who's more interested in looking cool. I think it does look cool. Yeah, totally. I can see myself for this. It's kind of a strange one. But the problem with Yamahas is it's the resale value, because they're slightly odd. So anyone who, you have to be a certain type of person to get on with the mad shaped guitars. You have to be willing to go out there and stand out from the crowd a little bit. It's like people would not want to have this because other people are going to go, oh God, I've got an M4 Les Paul, it's so much better than that. Is it? You've not played it then, have you? No, I don't really play the guitar, but nah, yeah, I know, yeah, but it's like ultimately again, if it looks good, if you think it looks cool, you'll probably play it better. That's it. It's like, so You can't really put that down to anything, like placebo effect or whatever you want to call it. It's any shape that's slightly odd. I keep referring back to that FGN, which you can see actually because it's on the wall right next to a Telecaster, how it's not quite a Telecaster, but I like it. There's a lot of Telecasters where you can make something a little bit different and it's like, oh, that's not good. But that one is just kind of, it's a wee bit pointier there. The scratch plate's the wrong shape. It's a little bit, you know what I mean? Which makes a noise bit. So, playing through my Orange TH30, through that 3x12 cab. I've got a reverb pedal on, and I'm about to have a rat pedal on. This definitely, the tone control when it's down the way definitely seems to make it in the middle, off, down, brighter, up, darker. That might be all it is. Maybe it's just a high pass filter that's adjustable on both sides. But this is now officially the longest time I've played this. I literally played it for 5 minutes at my pal's house. Had a wee mess about it earlier on. It's I take that away for a setup, and it's like I'm kind of refusing to do a setup on it because it doesn't need anything. It's totally fine. But I get it. You know, it's like you put your car in for an MOT, and apparently it's never happened to me yet. But you know, if there's nothing wrong with it, they just give you it back. Like, all right, but now you know you're safe, and you've got, you know, kind of like that sort of thing. I suppose I did take it to bits and I checked everything, but it's really well set up. The thing is, it's well, it's an 800 series. I bet you it's never been set up. I bet you this just came playing amazing from the factory. It's amazing. It's a fantastic guitar. It's mad to me. It's really nice. It's a nice day today, but if I open that, you can't. All the colour goes around. Stand here. Oh, nice sunny day. I'll just close all the curtains and sit like some mad freak in a dark room. But I like the paint. It's kind of like, it's almost like that colour flippy stuff. Sort of. It seems to change, but because it's got these angles on it, you always get different because it's kind of glittery. So I mean, that's what I do. I bet you it looks good under stage lights. I suppose it's like, going for image-wise, it's not a punk guitar, is it? It could be anything else. I can't see it being a punk or a garage band. It's just too pro. Yeah. So, I mean, I suppose the elephant in the room bad points, and there is one big fuck off bad point about these things: resale value. It's shit. People are scared. It's people's fault. It's not Yamaha's fault. People are scared of it and they go, but it's not a Stratocaster or a Les Paul. I can't buy that. People might laugh at me and think I'm not as good as them because I don't have a Stratocaster or a Les Paul. It's like that. So the resale value in these is shite. This cost, right? So this I've already said, this is better than a Gibson Les Paul significantly in every single measurable way, apart from, oh, but I like the look of the Les Paul, it's cooler, Jimmy Page played one. Apart from that, right, it's better in every possible way, and this cost less than a second-hand Epiphone Les Paul, and you're like, right, so you can have like an Epiphone, which is obviously a copy. I mean, yeah, they're fine, but they're so accurate, they actually copy quite a lot of the things that are shite about a Les Paul. Just they're not as nice, they're not as good. And this basically sorts those problems and is miles better, and it's insane. People are mental. It just shows you what marketing can do, because I don't think Yamaha spend an awful lot of money in marketing. Why would they? It's like, if you've got a Yamaha, you know. And it comes down to, all Yamaha stuff's brilliant. It seems to be. Some of it's a bit quirky and mental, but that's the thing. It's like you get a guitar that looks totally. You can tell this is an expensive guitar, and it's like from the future or something. You know, you can imagine this in 2001. Okay, not 2001. You know, like some set 200 years in the future, they're playing guitars like this. Yeah, totally get that. So these that sort of thing. See, if you're going to wait 20 years, these will be. People will look at these and go, what the fuck? You know, especially the fact that guitars aren't as good now as they were. They're a lot cheaper than they used to be. Well, the prices stayed the same, but inflation is taken in. So, you know, guitars are still, you know, you did used to spend £1,000 on a guitar in the 80s to get like a Gibson or something like that. And okay, now they're £2,000, but yeah. Well, it's just the resale value in these things is just shite, and it's especially on it's kind of the same for any odd one. It would maybe change if, say, I don't know, why am I saying Matt Bellamy out of Muse? I don't know. Say he played one of these, I bet you they'd be worth 3 times as much, because all the Muse fans would go, "What? I can get a guitar the same as what Matt Bellamy uses, and they're cheaper than a Gibson." You know what I mean? That's, you know, that kind of thing. They would sell, or somebody famous has to use one. But how do you attract somebody famous to play a guitar? I'm not including what's his face in this, Matt in this. You pay them a lot of money. That's how you get somebody famous to play a guitar. It used to be a case of you would just give, you know, like Washburn did this scenario, you know, they would just give, you know, Andy Summers or the guys in Uriah Heep, or, you know, it would give them a Washburn Falcon, and they thought it was good, so they would use it. And then they would use, there'd be an advert of them playing it, and they would use the guitar. That's great. That's not what it is now. It's like, pure, we'll give you a guitar, right? How much money am I getting per year? You know, and it's like 10 grand they're getting a year for playing a Gibson or for playing a Fender or whatever it is. When you get the famous folk, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but also you always wondered about these things, about what kind of guitar it is they actually play. Is the guitar they're playing the one that you're buying, or is the one they're playing one that was handmade by a luthier in California, and then they copied it to make the model that you're buying for £1,000? There's a lot of that goes on. I think Paul Gilbert's the one different. I think Paul Gilbert does. He's always got one of the stock guitars. That was not that particular one, but you know, he kind of runs those as opposed to, like, you know, like Steve Vai's Gems and stuff like that. The ones he's got the prototypes, so he's got some prototypes. He gets them made up. He lives not that far away from the American guy that makes it, you know, in California or whatever it is, and so he's got it, and then Ibanez copy it. I mean, they're really good at copying, so it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. But he's not actually playing a factory built guitar. He's playing a handmade guitar, and it's like, I know all about handmade guitars since I've got a couple of them kicking about, you know. Not like you plebs out there with your factory. What? How many of them are there? Oh, it's a rare one. Oh, there's 500, are there? All right, aye, one. There's only one of them. There's only one of them. Yeah, even, and I'm not saying, oh, you can get them in it. Oh, it's only one came in that color or with that pickups. No, only one's that good. None remotely like it. Sorry, I am being sarcastic, by the way. You don't need handmade built guitars. These are, it's stunning. It's stunning. I love it. It's not one I would probably have picked out and seen. I would have scrolled past it. It's like, you know, it's the first look is with the eye. The first look is with the eye. First look's always with the eye. It's the first taste is with the eye. So the first look is, I don't know, whatever it is. But I mean, I don't think there's really anything this guitar can't do. If you really didn't like this notch tone control, be super easy just to snip it out and put a tone control on. You know what I mean? I'd charge you 20 quid to do that. If you wanted to do that, but I mean, why? Unless you, that's only if you were really mental into having a tone control. I'm not. But I mean, wonderful. It does have quite a Les Pauly neck. It's quite a wee bit to it. But not. And it's going, oh my god, that's a thick neck. No, just it's a kind of sort of chunk. It seems just perfect for it. It's one of those ones that, you know, you go into a guitar shop with this. I can't remember how much he said he paid for it, but I think these can be had for, I think this one's quite rare, being an 800 series. There's other ones. There's like there's normally like a 3 and a 5, and there'll be 1,000 one that's made in Japan. This doesn't say. Maybe it does. It's not a Japanese one, is it? Bases. Taiwan. So it's a Taiwanese one. But that's a Yamaha factory. The difference again, it's like, Taiwan's like, oh, what other guitars does that factory make? They're like, yeah, they make all the Yamahas. Alright, it's not like, oh, Cort, oh yeah, PRSSE, Squire, no. It's a Yamaha factory. Does make a difference. But that was the first one, because when that's how Yamaha combated the 1986 or whatever it was, the yen in Japan. Their economy suddenly started doing well, or recovered from the Second World War or something. So suddenly all the guitars cost twice as much to build. That's why my golden era, sort of 1982 sort of thing, you were basically getting guitars that cost half as much as they should have, and that price has still kind of kept going. Where they've stayed kind of, no, the early ones have kind of stayed there, where it's just basically it should have cost twice as much. So they basically, Yamaha went to Taiwan, took all their management, and I don't think it was right down to individual workers, but each head of every department basically got ripped out of Japan and stuck in Taiwan to make the guitars the same as they were in Japan. I know this because I had an SG200, like an early Taiwanese one. It was basically just exactly the same as the Japanese SG200. It's like, there's not a difference in it. You can tell a difference between a Japanese RG and a Indonesian one, like I can, like that. It's like pure, yeah. That is just, you know, it just, maybe it doesn't make that much difference to the sound or the feel or anything like that, but it is a difference, and it's just significantly just better all the way around. But I think there'll be a pro level $2,000 one of these, like a, what's this, an AES820. There'll be an AE1200 or a 1600 or something like that. That'll be handmade in Japan and all that, which will be exactly the same, but it won't be rosewood. It'll be some fancy type of rosewood. Yeah, there we go. So yes, I mean, on all practical terms, I know this doesn't apply to things because tellies are cool, and you know there is an awful lot to do with looks, and if you don't like the look of something, you're not going to feel cool playing it, you're not going to play it as well. In some aspects, you know, it's like, oh, the frets are a bit shite on this, but it looks cool. I'll just deal with the shite frets and play harder. Whereas this is just like, as a technical exercise, best guitar in the world, isn't it? Really. Say that for a lot of Yamaha, kind of do that quite a lot. It's like basically, it's as good a guitar as they can make. It's not a guitar that's made to market. It's a guitar that's made to be the best guitar they could make. It's the attempt at making the best guitar in the world, which is what I appreciate that a lot, when you get somebody's attempt at making the best guitar in the world. I mean, even something like the wee red star there. Okay, it's a budget model of somebody's attempt at making the best guitar in the world. So they've tried to make the best guitar in the world, the Alan Holdsworth model, and then they've gone, right, this is the best guitar in the world, or arguably in some ways the best guitar in the world. We'll do a budget version where instead of having, you know, an aircraft grade aluminium bridge, we'll just make it out of normal metal. Reduces the price, you know, we'll not put special signature pickups in it, we'll put our own pickups in it. You know, that kind of thing. But the actual principles are there. Yeah, but I'm such a Yamaha fan. Yamaha fanboy. There's so many Yamahas, it's pure silly. They try these things. Some of them stick. I don't even know if they still make this. See, the thing about the Revstar does have a kind of look that's a bit more traditional. It's a bit more 335. Yeah, I could almost see an old Gallagher fan playing a Revstar, because it kind of looks like a 335, a wee bit like a 335, a wee bit like Pete Townshend's Rickenbacker. It's a wee bit like that. This doesn't. This doesn't look. This isn't cool. You know what I mean? For people who look up and see what's cool, they don't. No. It doesn't matter what I think's cool. It's no. What's in the magazines? What's everyone else doing? Oh, I'll do that. You know what I mean? Don't understand people like that. Fuck that. I play in the Sabbath band in flares. They're not cool. Although the guitarist wears flares all the time. That was one of the first things I saw when I joined the band. I was like, the guitarist is like with his bell bottoms. I'm like, that pure. Oh, I haven't had flares for fucking years. I wore flares to Ozfest '98, and I think I was the only person there wearing them. That's how cool I am, you know. But cool is in your own head, not what other people think. Yeah, no, love it. Have a look and see if you can find one. I think it's one of those ones that's trying to get the cheapest one, like, let's say the 320 or something like that, the 3 or the whatever the other series are. They probably don't go very much lower than that, because I think they'd have to sell a certain amount. When the Pacifica came out, it was a Japanese only 1000 series guitar, and then it was a couple of years later it came in, and then they brought out a budget version of it because it was obviously selling well. Whereas I don't think this. Well, I'm going to say this one didn't sell well because I don't see very many. It's also got, I told you it's got two strap buttons on it, which I think is maybe so you can lean it against the wall. And it's like things like, you know, that thing on the back. I mean, I much prefer it for having this. I hate this. See, when it's there, that's shite. Especially see if you're sitting down and you've got like the lead sticking out. And then, so the best one for me would be basically the one that's on a strap. That's your ultimate output jack, because it's on the front, but it's not sticking out the way. I'm kind of struggling a wee bit with it. It was my spec to put the output socket on the front of the Kraken. And it is a bit, I mean, I maybe need to get a right angled one, but I much prefer it to, on this corner. It fucking sucks. Why would you do that? Why? It just, I mean, it's like, oh, so it doesn't mess with the lines of the guitar. Fuck the lines of the guitar when you can't sit down and you bash it off everything. You know, what's the point in that? It's like, it's like, do you like to play the, you're not one of those, what you mean? You want to play the guitar sitting on a sofa? Who does that? And it's like, surely everyone wants that option, so that they're sitting watching telly, they can have the guitar plugged in, down quiet, and twiddle along, working out how to play EastEnders and all that, as we do, or playing along with adverts. Why would you not want that as an option? It's like, no, just put it in the corner. And so many do it. I mean, the telly, it's got the corner, that's on the corner, that's on the corner, that's on the front, that's on the corner, that's on the front. on the corner. It's like, that's a solution. Have it there. And it's not an expensive solution either. That's why the more I think about these things, the more I like them. This is a cheaper option. Okay, it's a metal plate, but this is a cheaper option than having to drill a hole there and then put a metal plate on it. You know, it's actually cheaper and better. Cheaper and better. Like, yes, that should be my. I want that to be. I want that to be my slogan. Cheaper and, capital letters, and better. Not. But, sorry, I just talk so much pish. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Rock on, like and subscribe. We'll see you later.